welcome. My name is Heidi B, and I'll be your MC for tonight. And before we go too much further, I want to recognize Elder Lyndon Agana from Alexis in the Treaty 6 territory, who has agreed to bless our games with a song and recognize the land that we're on. Before we get going, a quick thank you to our sponsor, BFL Canada. Their multifaceted insurance expertise makes a difference, and we want to thank them for their generous support of the opening series. And without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Lyndon.
First of all, thank you for having me. I want to acknowledge the tribes. In Stony, we say Abawashte, Cree, Anse, Anishinaabe, Anin, Blackfoot, Oki, and the Dene, Shnenete. So that's the traditional land that you're in. And to respect them, I wanted to say a greeting in each of their languages. I myself speak Stony fluently, but I'm mostly Cree, and I would like to learn the language before I leave the earth. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a prayer because in the indigenous culture, we believe that dead battery. Check. We believe that all of life is an element creator. So the creator created all of life out of its own spirit, out of its own energy. That's what makes us all related. We have an element of the creator. And so does the plants, the animals, all of life. So that's why we say a prayer to acknowledge that first spirit that created life. So I'm going to say a prayer, and I'm going to be sitting down when I say the prayer, and I'll say why after I finish. I had a grandfather who was 108 when he passed on. And we had a ceremony, and he was on a push wheelchair. And he came to the ceremony, and they left a chair for him. And when he got there, he said, I don't want to sit down. Put me on the ground. So we sat him on the ground, and I asked him after the ceremony was over, Grandfather, why didn't you take the chair? He says, because all the prayers that we do is on the ground. The only time you stand up is when you're blowing an eagle whistle or you have a fan in your hand or an eagle feather. So that's why I say my prayers on the ground always. So having said that, I'm gonna sing some songs because even that has energies. Even that has spirit. Maybe if I can get the MC to come hold the mic for me. So everything has spirit. So the drum does, and so does the song, so does the voice, everything that we do emits an energy. So I'm gonna sing a song for you. Enjoy yourselves here in our traditional lands and make friends and hope that you guys have safe travels home. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lyndon. That was very moving, and we're very grateful to have you bring blessings to our event. Next, I want to welcome from Treaty 6 territory to sing our national anthem in both Cree and in English, Kaya Bruno. If you could all please stand for the singing of O Canada, move your hats. Oh, Canada, Nikina, Nitaskina, Kisaki Hetina, Oh, Takawikiak, Ni tehinak kiwa pontinan so kiwetino boko ota o Canada we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Kaya's grandmother is with us tonight, and I know she must be very proud of her granddaughter. She did a beautiful job. So thank you, Kaya. All thanks to Kaya's family as well. So now, without further ado, we want to welcome our competitors onto the field. We're going to start with the group that is, although not technically, this is a funny way, it's not technically competitors, but a very important part of our game. So please join me in welcoming our officials for this event. Next up, joining us from a beautiful bit of British Columbia, is Team BC. In red, joining us from Ontario, is Team Ontario. The team that has traveled the farthest to be with us today is Team Quebec. Please join us. And last but not least is our home team, Team Alberta. We started planning the field nationals here in Sherwood Park in 2019. We were planning to host in the summer of 2020. Well, that didn't work out. And then we tried to plan for the summer of 2021. Well, that didn't work out either. But here we are. We're all upright and standing. Beautiful smiling faces behind me. And we're very excited to see all of these athletes and our officials in action tomorrow. I want to make you all aware of our tournament's namesake. So at the Women's Field Nationals, the competitors are vying for the Jenny Kyle Cup. Jenny Kyle was an icon in Canadian lacrosse. A true friend and champion of the sport, Jenny would proudly stand today with all of the athletes behind me. She realized the importance of young players and player development as the basis for lacrosse in Canada. Having a true love of the game, she freely gave of her time, her energy, her contacts, and knowledge of both Canada and the international lacrosse community. I want to read to you something about the Jenny Kyle that Jenny Kyle herself wrote. My English grandparents, Arthur Henderson and Muriel Hanbury, met on board a ship sailing from England to India in 1906. India was a British possession in those days, and Arthur was a major in the 27th Light Cavalry Indian Army. Muriel was on her way to visit cousins in India, closely chaperoned by her aunt, when in a whirlwind shipboard romance, they were married the following year and led the sort of existence that you might have seen in the movie The Jewel in the Crown. Jenny's grandparents were both keen tennis players, and in 1909, they won a silver cup as second prize in a tennis doubles tournament in Bangalore, India. Sadly, Arthur was killed near Paris by a German sniper's bullet in 1914 in World War I. Muriel died in England in 1948. Well, that cup gathered dust in my mother's attic for 50 years. My mother, who was a lacrosse goalie in the days when goalies didn't wear helmets because no shot ever went over the goalie's shoulder counted, and was delighted when I asked her if I could use their cup. Arthur and Muriel would be equally happy to know that their cup was back in circulation as a symbol of athletic achievement between junior lacrosse teams in Canada. And good luck to all who strive for it. We're lucky to have the original Jenny Kyle trophy with us here in Sherwood Park. Later this evening, you can be able to see it through the fishbowl window. We'll put it up there for everyone to see, and it will be awarded to the winner of this tournament. As a final symbol of her love for the game, Jenny Kyle's grave marker has an engraving of a lacrosse stick next to her name. So sadly, Jenny Kyle passed away. We'd like to take a brief moment of silence to recognize her and her legacy on Canadian women's lacrosse. So if you could please remove your hats, we'll take a 60-second moment of silence. Thank you. We have one special piece to help us celebrate our evening. We are very fortunate to have dancers from the Urban-Skin Cree Nation in Musqueam. And please help me in welcoming them to the field. amazing. Thank you very much. So again, everyone, we want to welcome you all to Sherwood Park to the 2022 U19 Women's Field Lacrosse National Championship. Our first game goes tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock when Team Alberta and Team Quebec go head to head. And we encourage you to come out and watch all of the games. Bring your friends. And again, best of luck to all of these competitors.